Hey, oh Bob, what are you doing? Over here. Alright, Shaggy lad, what are you doing? Oh, not much, just mooching about, you know. You're not doing any in-depth documentary down the woods today then? Not bloody likely, not after last time. Have you seen young Bob? Has he started the programme? Young Bob? No, he's still writing the links. I think he's trying to put some jokes in, you know. Oh, bloody hell. There goes the show. Oh, he's alright. Yeah, I know. I mean, he's a nice lad, but he's not a talented lad, is he? Well, yeah, but I'd sooner have him than that bloody Bobby No, mates. Oh, aye, right shower shite, he is. Tell you what, there's something up with him today. I've just seen him down the amygdala and he's having a right paddy. I might be able to shed some light on that, actually. I think he might be missing the D off his rainbow xylophone. Oh, you're a bad bugger, Shaggy, you know that, don't you? I know. The badness just comes upon me and I can't help it. Anyway, I'm off up the estate. Aye, alright then. Well, I think Bob might be starting the show now. Hello and welcome to Not the Chair Circle, Series 2, Episode 3. In order to justify the increasingly tenuous link the show has with mental health issues, tonight we're going to be discussing a form of therapy which is enjoying a bit of a renaissance at the moment. It's called Primal Therapy and it was introduced in the 1970s. Now, as far as I know, it has never been prescribed on the National Health Service, and it certainly hasn't shown up in my Every Mind Matters email that they send me each month. Now, to talk us through this, we're very glad to welcome back Dr. Robert, who regular viewers will remember from Series 1 when he gave us a talk on negative self-talk. More of that later. Now, we had a tremendous response to the interview with Bobby No Mates, our producer, last week about his musical career, and it resulted in a first for the show. We received a letter. Now, considering what was written on the envelope and the fact that we've never given out an address, it's quite surprising it got here, but it did. Interesting notepaper. Perfumed. I think it might be goose fat. I'm going to read it out because it's quite specific. It's from a Miss, it says in brackets, not Ms, close brackets, Dorothea Spume of Newport Pagnell, to the one with that face. I noted that during his performance of Medication on your show, Bobby's lyrics distinctly referred to his friend. As he is currently trading under the name Bobby No Mates Productions, is this not an infringement of the 1975 Trades Descriptions Act? Yours, Miss Spume. Well, Miss Spume, how can I put this tactfully? Bobby might be watching. In the video, I'm sure you'll have noticed that the friend's depiction is actually a coloured pencil drawing by Bobby himself, done from his own imagination. I think imagination is the key word that you have to take from this, Miss Spume. I hope that clarifies things for you. But thank you for writing. Now, because the interview was such a success, it has been decided to interview one of the other musical stars of the show this week. It was felt at executive level, however, Bobby himself, that my interviewing techniques are a little bit below par, so they've got a professional in to do it. I've been told he needs no introduction from me. I'm simply to say, over to Studio 5. Yeah, hi Studio. Hello. Ah, yeah, thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. Yeah. If you just bear with us a moment. Thank you. Studio, can we have the arrangements, please? Yep, yeah. Thank you, that's great. You can bring him in. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Good evening, and welcome to Gobshite with me, Mike Gobshite. Tonight we have a man who has been described as a legend in his own lunchtime. although his manager says it's the afternoon tea circuit where he really cleans up. He and his band have just finished an extensive tour of the Norfolk Broads, ending in a sell-out week at the Theatre Royal Norwich. He is, of course, Babs Balladeer, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Babs.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Thank you. What a lovely audience.
Good evening. You are, of course, lead man with the Bedlam Boogie Boys. Now, before we get into it, just to explain all this to the audience, I'm sure you won't mind me mentioning this, but you, and indeed the entire band, are black and white.
Yes, to a man.
I see. And has that caused you any problems?
Oh, well, you know how it is. You show up the odd gig and there'll be somebody on the door and he'll say, "We only want people in colour here." We simply try and avoid those sort of gigs.
And what about the colourists?
Yes, there's always some Johnny who wants to paint my face pink and give me day-glow hair or something. I simply politely decline. But now listen, I know you've had your share of troubles, Mike. I know you won't mind me saying, but you're 70s, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a little bird told me back there in the canteen just now that you were set upon by some shower or other in the car park the other week, and they slashed your space hopper. Is that correct? You see what I mean? There's just ignorance and bigotry wherever you go. Well, you stay as sweet as you are, old love, okay? You listen to your Uncle Babs.
Yes, I will. Babs is quite an unusual name. How did you come by it?
It's short for Babert, actually. It's sort of the French equivalent of Bobby. I picked it up on tour and can't seem to shake it off, as the actress said to the bishop. I must stop saying that. Sorry, viewers. It's awfully vulgar of me, isn't
it? No, not at all. I see you have your iconic baton with you.
Well, this? Yes, to be truthful, I'm off to Siggy's at the moment. It gives me something to do with my hands, as the actress said. No.
And the standard question, how did the band get its name?
The Bedlam Boogie Boys. Well, yes. Well, Bedlam, we actually met at the Basket Weavers Hotel.
I'm sorry?
The loony bin, darling. Yes, we all have a little spell under sedation.
So, the song "We're All Happy Here," is that sort of autobiographical in some way?
We're all happy here. Yes, it's all true. We met during association time.
Really?
Yeah, the dreaded group therapy, you know. I see. And when the meds had kicked in, we all discovered we were musicians. And, well, we're all boys and we all love to boogie.
I see. Now, tell me about the others in the band.
Well, let me see. There's Banjolele Bertie. I mean, we call him Banjolele. He's actually a multi-instrumentalist. He's a frightfully clever chap. Always thinking very deep. Yeah, it's quite unlike Basso Profundo. We call him Basso Profundo. Well, he does have a lovely deep voice, but we call him Basso Profundo because he's not the sharpest knife in the picnic hamper. A beautiful player. Absolutely beautiful. Well, the redoubtable Mr. Keys McGee. Now, he is the absolute glue of the band, darling. Couldn't do without him. Does all the arrangements. Superb. The only thing about Keys is you must never say "tickle the ivories" to him. Oh, he hates that expression. He goes quite berserk.
And a legend was born. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Babs Balladeer. Thank you, Babs.
No, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful.
What a lovely order.
Yes, we'll see you again.
Certainly. Certainly.
Well, there you are, viewers. Don't the professionals make it look easy? I'm sure we're going to be having much more gobshite later in the series. Now, moving right along, we come to the main theme of tonight's show, Primal Therapy. We're delighted to welcome back Dr. Robert, who some of you may remember from Series 1, where he gave a dissertation on negative self-talk. Well, he's back with his own slot. I've been told not to over-introduce this either, just to say, over to Studio 3. Good evening, and welcome to Out of My Mind with me, Dr. Robert. In the 1970s, a radical new form of therapy was developed to combat the exponential rise in adult mental trauma. As with treatments before, it approached adult neuroses from the perspective of their basis in childhood trauma. Where it differed from other methodologies was in its approach to the language used. Its founder claimed that attempting to address childhood traumas using the sophisticated language of the adult was actually a barrier to effective diagnosis and treatment. In order to get to the fundamental root of the problem, one must speak in the basic language of the unformed mind, the visceral outbursts of the inarticulate infant. The method employed was simple mimicry of childhood outbursts in such situations, to lie on the floor and emit cries of deep emotion. The intention was to alleviate the adult's pent-up anxiety with the most direct form of physical expression.
Slimmy!
Hello? I thought they'd given you your own slot. Why do you have to keep sabotaging my appearances? It's your psyche that keeps dragging me here. I'm your little voice. And what are we discussing tonight? I doubt you would have the slightest inkling of what we're talking about tonight. We're discussing primal therapy. Now, would that be primal therapy, as developed by Dr. Art Janoff, clinical psychologist? Also the author of the seminal work on the topic, The Primal Scream, first published in 1970. How on earth did you know that? Oh well, we're not just a pretty face, you know. Well, in any case, I doubt you have the slightest real understanding of the implications of this treatment. Oh no, I think it's amazing. Janoff's approach to the human psyche. It's amazing that any bugger fell for it. Do you know, they're actually queuing up to go to his place in Santa Monica. He was charging them. I believe at the time it was incredibly popular. Many notable people attended his sessions. I know, I can't believe John Lennon fell for it. Mind you, if I was married to Yoko Ono, I'd want to roll around on the floor and scream a bit and all. This is intolerable. Oh, cheer up. All right, I'm off. I expect you feel like a little rant and a cry yourself just now, don't you? See ya. Alopecia, like an alopecia, alopecia. Well, Shaggy does seem irresistibly drawn to Dr. Robert, doesn't he? Is it a psychic link, as he's claiming, or is he just out to cause some trouble? We'll never know. Now, it is always my delight to tell you that the Bedlam Boogie Boys are going to be finishing the show for us today. In a rare feat of continuity, they've come up with a song about primal therapy. Given what we now know about their background, perhaps that's not so surprising, but very apt all the same. Before that, it just falls to me to say how very grateful we all are that you showed up to watch the show today. As ever, I would like to thank you for your kind indulgence. Hello, hep cats and kittens, it's your old pal Uncle Babs back here. Me and the boys are going to require you tonight to make some noise. Now there's a mental treatment that's fun for girls and boys. You just roll on the floor and scream, so make some noise. They call it Primal Therapy, it's Granny's cure of choice. She'll wrestle Grandad to the ground, saying, let's make noise. It's a well-respected type of treatment, it's been tried and tested. Just don't do it in the street or you might get arrested. You get to act like infants and smash up all your toys. No one says stop this instant, so let's make noise.